Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to week 31 of the Trump administration, wherein he attempts to take over DC. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to go well. Okay, so how can Trump do what he is doing in Washington, D.C.? This is a little bit from CNN. Trump declared federal control of D.C. police and is deploying the National Guard. Here's how he's able to do it. President Donald Trump said Monday he's placing Washington, D.C.'s police department under direct federal control and deploying National Guard troops to the nation's capital, citing a public safety emergency after an assault on a former government worker. Of course, this is all BS. D.C.'s crime is the lowest it had been. I live there, usually. Right now I'm in Seattle. The move draws on the sweeping but temporary powers granted under the Home Rule Act of 1973, a law that balances local self-government with federal oversight in the Capitol. While the president can assume control of the police department for up to 2 days, extending this authority would require congressional notice or change to the law. And it seems like maybe about 800 National Guard members have been mobilized to go into Washington, D.C. Again, they're going to have to figure out something today or maybe tomorrow if he wants to extend that. The reason he is able to do this in DC doesn't have any other relevance to being able to do it in any other part of the country. He's doing it in DC because he can. Because, as we have said since day one, he's trying to be a dictator. It is not going to go well for him because well over 90% of the residents of DC hate him. And they know how the government runs. And going up against the whole bureaucracy at one time is just not a good idea. Ask Elon Musk how it went for him. Another thing that worries me is that the AP just announced they are going to stop doing book reviews. So welcome to more ignorance, folks, as we march down the line. When I said we are going to start looking more like dictatorship era Brazil, big news outlets not doing book reviews anymore. Yep, that's a good sign right there. So what do we do about it? How do we stop it? Y'all, we're in a cult for 4 years. I really don't think he can break the entire American bureaucracy. There's this thing in cults called routinization, right? When a cult leader builds his thing, he has to surround himself with people. He can either surround himself with effective bureaucrats or fellow narcissists who affirmed him on his rise to power. That's usually the one he picks, sometimes surrounded by effective bureaucrats, and those start bureaucrating. They start putting laws in place and regulations and order and paperwork that needs to be done. Believe it or not, paperwork slowed down the Nazis. They were trying to be worse. There is far too much routinization in the United States government and the military on purpose. So while he's doing the little things he can, please continue to imagine him just stomping around like a little toddler, being like, I'm mad. What can I do? Where can I send my forces? DC? Okay. No, it's not going to work. We are probably going to have to endure being in a cult that we can't leave for the next 4 years, or however many weeks that is, minus 31. One of y'all do the math for me, because #homeschooled. And we're just going to keep seeing all of these little things, these little pieces collapsing and going away. It's going to take decades to put the United States back together. And such is the work of government. There is no simple way to stop it. There is no easy thing to do. If a 38-year-old woman who knits and talks about cults knew how to fix the country, promise you, I would have done it. If I knew how to stop Donald Trump, I promise you, I would have done it. Please don't come to me saying I said he couldn't do this. I never said he couldn't do this. This has always been a thing he could do. So I'm just going to remind y'all on this one, before you try to weaponize Knitting Cult Lady's words at her, best go make sure what they were. And this is my reminder to you that National Guard and military are very different. He's walking the fine lines of what he can do. And I guarantee you, all of the members of the United States military and the leadership are working on how they are not going to be weaponized by a tyrant. How do I know this? Oh, a bunch of my best friends are the battalion managers. Battalion managers. Battalion commanders. I have been out of the military too long, y'all. I'm Danielle, a scholar of cults, extreme groups, and extremely bad leadership. I wrote a book called Uncultured, my memoir of growing up in the Children of God religious cult and going into the cult of the U.S. Army. One of the things that I think is going on right now is that millennials that didn't grow up under extremism, all of you that were allowed to read Harry Potter growing up, don't understand what is happening now. And what is happening now is that the Christian extremists have taken the White House, as professional Cassandras like me have been warning that they would for the last 50 years. If you weren't scared in 2012 when Mitt Romney was that close, the Mormons weren't paying attention. If you didn't get scared in 2015 when a cult leader came down that gold elevator and said he could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and people would still vote for him, we've been watching it since then. We've been watching the march toward tyranny on full blast since then. One of the ways we stop him is by continuing to resist. The thing that is going to help us in the end is the thing that we're known for as Americans, being loud, angry jerks with 500 million guns. I wrote another book, The Culting of America. It is available for pre-sale now at Knitting Cult Lady website, or attached here if you're watching this not on TikTok. Have a great week, y'all. Tuck in. We're here for the long haul. Best of luck to y'all in DC. We'll be home soon. Oh, I'm having a happy hour tonight in Seattle, in Portland on the 15th, and in San Francisco on the 20th. Deets in the bio.